Remember, if Joe Biden wins in November, Democrats will need to flip 4 Republican-held seats, assuming Democrat Doug Jones loses in Alabama, and 3 if he somehow holds on.
I think we're headed for a 50-50 Senate, which if Clinton wins the White House, that would mean narrow Democratic control. But it really depends on those 4 that I just pointed out: North Carolina, New Hampshire, Missouri, and Wisconsin.
Right now, polls show most Americans disapprove of President Trump's handling of the coronavirus crisis. And these trends suggest that down-ballot Republicans are being pulled down by the president's performance as well.
Yeah, and Wisconsin looks like a blue wall there for Hillary Clinton.
It does.
CNN now projects that Donald Trump will carry the state of Wisconsin. He will win Wisconsin with its 10 electoral votes. He's cracked the so-called blue wall that Hillary Clinton had tried to create.
Kristen Welker, the president is obsessed with undoing the Mueller report, and he tweeted some 40-plus times this morning. It
seems like,
mostly about Michael Flynn.
Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
40-plus times about Michael Flynn just this morning, Chuck. It underscores the fact that this is an issue that looms large for President Trump. It does come after he was gloating after the Attorney General recommended that a judge drop the charges against Michael Flynn. It is worth noting that ultimately it's going to be up to that judge whether he actually decides to move forward with that.
Good luck prosecuting the case, Judge. I mean, you got to have a prosecutor to prosecute the case. So if the DOJ is not moving forward on Michael Flynn, I don't think the judge is going to do it himself.
Ultimately, it's going to be up to that judge whether he actually decides to move forward with that. But it's opened the Justice Department up to all sorts of criticism yet again that the Attorney General may be working hand in hand with President Trump, something that Bill Barr has denied.
You brought up Bill Barr. Peggy Noonan, I want you to listen to this Bill Barr answer to a question about what will history say about this. Wait till you hear this answer. Take a listen.
When history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written?
Well, history is written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history.
I was struck, Peggy, by the cynicism of the answer. It's a correct answer, but he's the Attorney General. He didn't make the case that he was upholding the rule of law. He was almost admitting that, yeah, this is a political job.
I'm on Meet the Press, a show now headed by Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd. He's a sleeping son of a bitch, I'll tell
you. When history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written?
Well, history is written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history. But I think a fair history would say it was a good decision because it upheld the rule of law. It upheld the standards of the Department of Justice, and it undid what was an injustice.
But he's the Attorney General. He didn't make the case that he was upholding the rule of law.
He's writing the history, but I think a fair history would say it was a good decision because it upheld the rule of law. It upheld the standards of the Department of Justice, and it undid what was an injustice.
He didn't make the case that he was upholding the rule of law. He was almost admitting that, yeah, this is a political job.
Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
We're not interested in being the opposition party. We're interested in holding you accountable and you telling us what the hell you're doing and being truthful about it, pure and simple.
But to call the media that criticizes a president the enemy, to attack anonymous sources, and then to exclude them, perhaps only once, we don't know, from White House gaggles and briefings. And is there another tactic here, which is that every time he says something about the media or summon the media, and there's a howl of outrage from the people that he's attacking, it sort of affirms his brand to his base, to the people who voted for him, to the people that he still likes to talk to at these rallies?
Absolutely. Look, media bashing, it's great for his base. If you think of his base as about 35 to 40%, his true core supporters.
Think of his base as about 35 to 40%, his true core supporters.
That may even be a little high, but that 30 to 35%, They love it. They eat it up. So there's absolutely, there's that. But there's another part of this.
Get on the Trump train. 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 Rolling in the hood with my MAGA hat on. Corn pop dancing on the White House lawn. Impeachment gonna boomerang, drop it like it's hot. Trump train chugging like a juggernaut. MAGA, MAGA, what? MAGA, MAGA, what? MAGA, MAGA, what? MAGA, MAGA, what?
Trump is your president, if you like it or not. Keep that energy you had with Barack, cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my Glock. You wanna impeach him, I guess that's what you do when you can't beat him.